Grip Calvin Hooker, played by myself, an ex-con who, after doing 4 years in prison for drug trafficking for his brother, struggles to earn an honest living on the outside, being harassed by his parole officer, trying to care for his elderly mother, and trying desperately to find a decent job. He eventually returns to the life of drugs and thugs.
What's up, convict? Where's your stripes, man?
The idea for Grip a Criminal Story came to me more than 10 years ago while working law enforcement. One of my duties was to look after prisoners, inmates, and you would hear stories about some guy who just got out, and because of the stigma that most ex-cons carry, he, not being able to find a job, he would wind up right back in jail again. And this prompted me to write my own story and expand on the characters a little further, as well as the vicious cycle that most of the guys find themselves in.
In the production of Grip a Criminal Story, 3 things debuted in relation to JeTi Films. One of them was, this marked the first time that Gorio would do the screenplay. It would mark the first time that he would direct a JeTi project, in this case co-direct, and it marked the first time my cinematography DP debut. Prior to this film, I wrote and directed prior films, and we always hired someone to do the cinematography. So to me, this is just another plateau achieved by JeTi Films, showing that we were growing as a film production company.
My brother Jeff was like a beacon of light when it came to helping me with angles and camera angles and things like that, and I really learned a lot from him on the sets. He would look at my storyboard and he would either redo it or else he would take and enhance what I came up with, and but it would help to creatively tell a story, and it's just a gift that he has. Just some of the angles he would come up with would be things that I hadn't even dreamed of, and that was just his gift or his knack. He's good at that, and not to mention his acting skills. He took the character of Maurice, who he plays in the movie, and he kept adding things to this character until he eventually evolved into someone that you just love to hate.
In the film, I play Grip's older brother, Maurice, or Mo, who is, in the script, built up as a sort of a slick, sly, elusive guy who's on top of his game as far as avoiding arrest is concerned. So I saw a lot of things after reading the script. I saw a lot of things that I could do with the character. I figured he had to be somebody who exuded confidence, for one thing, kind of like Paul Newman in The Hustler. He was kind of a braggart about what he could do, and also I wanted to give him sort of a grin behind the eyes, a little slick smile behind the eyes that kind of showed that maybe he knows something that nobody else does, like he's really on top of his game. I added the smoking of the cigars. I mean, I don't smoke myself, but I added the character smoking cigars just to add a sort of a element of some sort of class, the kind of to signify just how high he was on the what level he was as far as criminal activity was concerned.
I wanted the movie Grip, a Criminal Story to have a variety of interesting characters.
You knew where we were, right where you left us, struggling and broke.
Wait a minute. If? What the hell do you mean, if? You're the only suspect.
Bravo, Pookie. Good to see you can at least accomplish something that you started.
I cast Craig Derochet as Detective Reed because I wanted Detective Reed to have more of a menacing kind of appearance, and I want him to be intense, and that's why I cast Craig, because we worked with Craig before on Bang and on The Murder Men, and he's always intense, and he's always a professional at what he does, and you could deliver. You know, what he does, he'll find out what you want, and he'll nail the lines home each time.
You better listen to everything he says. If you so much as step 1 foot outside of the so-called city limits, if you fail to call him back or fail to check in, he's going to get heartbroken, and then he's going to start to miss you. And you don't want him to start to miss you, because he's going to call me, and you don't want him to call me.
Originally, I was going to cast Brian Lanigan's character alone as just Mike by himself, and I knew no matter how we did it, what lines would have gave Brian Lanigan, he would have showed up, he would have kicked ass on his part, and he would have did it in typical Lanigan fashion.
Nah, man. That was therapy for your punk ass. This is business, and make no mistake, I'd kill you if the price was right. Look, man, I love my job, and you'll see it in my work.
At the same time, there was this guy that I work with named Jimmy Dockhand, and I would watch this guy at work, and I would say, man, this guy looks kind of like Lanigan, he tells jokes like Lanigan, and I was kind of curious, you know, if he would be interested in working on a film with us, you know, and so I cast him as Little Mike, and I cast Brian Lanigan as Mike, and once they got on the set together, man, it was like they had been working together for years. So at that time, I thought, well, if Jimmy could pull it off, I knew Lanigan could do it, but I hadn't seen Jimmy act before, and I knew if Jimmy could do it, and I would love to cast these two guys as two crazed maniac brothers who would like nothing more than to take over Mo's business, and once they hit the screen together, it was like magic, you know. And people often ask me, are these two guys related? You know, but I thought it was just good casting on that part.
You know, it was kind of interesting working with him because the first time I walked in to Geoffrey Murray's house and everything to go ahead before we filmed the movie, and I met this guy, I kept saying, wow, he looks more like my brother looks like. So it was kind of amazing to see that, and he had told me about it, but I couldn't believe that they could find anybody as ugly as me to shoot film with, but apparently they have. And there he is.
Well, I tell you, my story is a little bit different than his. When I first walked in, never knew anybody, first new on the set. Guy's over here pacing, talking to himself like he got Tourette syndrome or something. Didn't know if he was crazy or what. I knew his character was crazy, but well, come to find out he was memorizing his lines and he was playing through them, so I was all right with that. But he's definitely ugly, I mean, and older too. So.
Well, that's why he's called Little Mike, because I'm the older. They should have called us Older Mike and Younger Mike. But anyway, you know, I didn't write the damn play. Movie, whatever the hell you call this thing. What is this, a movie?
It's a movie, as far as I know.
They're actually going to call us a movie.
My brother Charlie, who plays a dual role in this one, he's cast as Weiser, the inmate who makes the bet with Grip initially in the movie that he doesn't feel that Grip is going to do well on the outside, and he makes a $100 bet that Grip is going to return to jail. And he's also cast as Detective Carlson, who's the partner of Detective Reed, played by Craig Derochet. And I think those two guys work really well together as partners in the movie. And my brother Charlie's scenes were the first scenes that we shot to start the movie, and they pretty much set the tone for the rest of the scenes that we filmed.
Just so you don't think we're playing good cop, bad cop here, I want you to know I really don't want you out on the streets here. All right? I think you need some more time in here, take a few classes, make sure you're going to be an asset, not a liability when you're out there in the streets. Unfortunately, I don't control release policy, but I will not hesitate to bounce your sorry ass right back in here the minute you screw up.
Roy Jackson, Rusty, who played Officer Porter, he really worked really good with Craig also. They really had a couple of scenes together which they really complemented one another in the way they did it, like a give and take, a good cop, bad cop, or bad cop, worst cop, you know, however you want to see it.
The way I approach the character, I figure he's a middle-aged guy, so he's probably been in his job about 20 years or so. He's got enough time to kind of be jaded and cynical about it. He probably started out idealistic and wanting to save the world, help out all the people he could, help them keep on the straight and narrow and keep them out of jail. But with so much recidivism, there's a good word of the day for you, that he's seen in the justice system, so many people, 75% or so, keep going back into jail, back into the system, and not straightening themselves out. So he's gotten to where he doesn't really have much faith in the system, and he doesn't have much faith in the people that he's trying to help. You missed your appointment yesterday,
and I got jumped, and I couldn't call them, right? If I could have called them, I would have called them.
Hey, don't be a smartass. I can have your butt picked up.
Man, I'm not trying to be smart, man. I got beat up. What you want me to do?
Look, be at my downtown office in 10 minutes.
What are you talking about, man? I'm in too much pain, man.
You better be here.
What do you mean I better be there? Man, I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm telling you, I've been in too... Renee Wynn, who plays as Gwen, was referred to us by Craig Darachet. And I met with Renee about the film, and while talking to her, I was actually auditioning her. And right off I saw her personality and character. She was pretty animated. And after reading the script, she was really eager to get started. And I kind of liked that because I was kind of eager to get started myself on filming. And right off, you know, I saw that she wanted to add a lot more to the character than was actually written. And once we got started, she really came through.
The character Gwen was just, it sort of hit home for me. We had a lot in common. I had to deal with a situation similar to that. So it was really easy for me to play that part. You know, and the writing, it's like it was made just for me. You know, Greg and I had a chemistry when I read for the part. You know, the interview actually was part of the tryout. I didn't really know that, but he was trying to trick me.
In this film, we also brought back several of the guys who we worked with before. And Robert Wicker, who plays Dion, and Robert Wicker, who most people refer as the Fifth Hollins brother, because we all grew up together, and you know, everything we've done in life, he's always been a part of it, and he plays Dion in the film, and then, you know, he really does a great job at it. We also brought back Michael Campbell, who worked with us before on Interview with the Red Shirts and The Murder Men, and Michael plays he plays the character of Rodney Green.
Make yourself at home. With the line. I should have made it. I should have with the line.
We also brought back Eddie Lacy, who was the third bad guy and third gang member in Bang. And in this one, Eddie plays as Big Man, and he's a pretty menacing character who kind of roughs Grip up a little bit, and he does a great job in the role.
On a sad note, prior to completing the film, our brother El Timo passed away before the film was completed. He never got a chance to see the completed project, and it's hard to imagine in life or on the set of future films to come him not being there, and he's definitely going to be missed, and is being missed now. It was always a good feeling when he was on the set, because you knew he was going to be professional and pay attention with whatever he was doing. If it was sound, if he heard something that didn't sound right, he'd say, "Hey man, I heard the bird was drowning you out," or something, whatever went wrong. If he was on the camera, he'll say, "There's a thing in the corner of the lens, you might want to shoot that over." And that made me feel good, because that's the kind of thing I would want to whoever's involved paying attention. And his main assignment was in every film that we've done was the closing credit theme. That was his. For every film we've done, he did the closing credit theme. In fact, one of the films we did, Bang, was so good that it was picked up to be in the TV series The Big Easy on the USA television network, and that was a proud moment for us. And he outdid himself on this one, the closing credit song for Grip. It was always whenever I did soundtrack music, I had to take it up a notch, because I knew whatever he was going to be working on throughout the film was going to be, he was going to bring it. So I had to step up my game as well. It was kind of a hidden competition thing there, but it was healthy, and it helped the productions, and on the sets, everybody, we all got a kick out of him ribbing people and razzing people. If you left yourself out there, he'd insult you, drop of a hat, but everybody loved it, and nobody really, So that's one of the things that's going to be definitely missed on the set and in life. And I'm sure I speak for everybody involved in JeTi Films and our family and friends by saying that he's definitely going to be missed.
My brother Tim was an entertainer. He was really professional. He enjoyed the hell out of filmmaking. He enjoyed the hell out of music. He loved every aspect of entertaining, taking something from nothing and turning it into something. What I liked about the characters he played is they were never what was written on the paper. He would take something that you wrote and he would turn it into something that was 10 times hipper, 100 times cooler, and just had more flair than what you would write. And then you would sit back and say, "Damn, I wish I had thought of that." But he was just that kind of guy, and it's hard to speak of him in the past tense. He's gonna always be missed, and I can't picture working on any film or on any set or anything without him being around. But that's just film is just a small part of him that I'm gonna miss. I'm just going to miss his overall presence.
In Grip, as in the previous JeTi films, the focus is mainly on character variety, just different characters, interesting characters, and also interesting dialogue. The dialogue has to be something that you find yourself, immersed in, and more times than not chuckling after hearing it. I mean, it's although it's a serious the film is a serious theme to it. There's a lot of comical elements in some of the stuff that's said, and a lot of the things that's done by the characters. Another chief thing that we focus on in our films, and especially in this particular film, is the music. For this film, I don't know, I guess we wanted the music to kind of stand out like another character almost, just hovering over the scenes. And although this is Grip is a serious urban mafia type film, we want the music to be eclectic and in a way fun.
Hey, two guys, go set up on that opposite end, all right? Okay.
I had a lot of fun making the music for the film, and when the scenes are going on, you hear the music back there. It's like it's part of it. It's an important element of the scene. During the filming of scenes with Mo, I kept hearing this recurring theme in my head that I used to kind of keep his rhythm, the rhythm of the character going, and this theme kind of just helped, this motif helped me to maintain the rhythm and the pace of the character. And when it was time to produce, to do the soundtrack music, that theme that I was hearing in my head just became Mo's theme. None of the themes sound related, just like the characters. I mean, there's a variety of music in this film, just like there are a variety of different characters in the film. The same thing applied to the visuals. We wanted to cover just every possible angle and just keep the camera just working, I mean, worm's eye views, bird's eye views, panning back and forth, zooms, dollies, pullbacks, handheld, just every conceivable and inconceivable angle that we could come up with. Just one point, we just went around the character multiple times, and just want to keep the film busy, just more interesting that way.
This would be my first time co-directing a film with my brother King Jeff. Although I had worked with my brothers closely on all the other previous films we had done, this will be my first time actually taking a story that I had written and transferring it into an actual movie, and working closely with Jeff, who had previous experience on numerous films, made the transition really easy, a real smooth one, and it made for some fun times on the set working with Jeff and all my brothers and all my friends.
Grip was a fun film to make, and everybody involved, cast and crew, everybody involved, just seemed to give it their all to make this film as good and as professional as possible. And hopefully audiences watching it will see that and appreciate it. You know, when they walk out, hopefully, you know, it'll touch them in some way.